In a Region 8 News follow-up, parents and former employees frustrated and upset after learning why a principal in the Westside School District resigned. Here's what we've learned. Former Westside principal Michael Graham resigned last fall after testing positive for drugs while on the job. It happened as the school and officials were investigating a probable meth lab dump site near the school. The State Education Board suspended Graham's license for a year and fined him. Superintendent Scott Gaunt originally said Graham resigned for personal reasons. And this weekend, Gaunt released the full reasoning while denying a cover-up. And tonight, a former teacher is not happy, calling Graham's punishment a slap on the wrist. As Hannah Campbell joins us live to explain, she says he's had questionable behavior for years.
Diana, today I spoke with Sherry Patel, who worked with Graham for 3 years. She says that he pressured her to quit and ultimately made her leave. Patel taught family and consumer science at Westside for 8 years, until 2016. She says Graham would essentially bully her and other teachers. She says while they made numerous complaints, little was done. Patel believes more disciplinary actions should be taken.
Just his character and just the unethical things that he did before this even came to light, it would trouble me to know that he was employed with any school.
Patel says that 1 year suspension is simply not enough. I've reached out to Superintendent Scott Gaunt and spoke with him about Patel's allegations. He says that happened before he was superintendent, and any of Graham's previous accusations of harassment didn't get brought up or looked into during the drug use investigation. I'll have more from Patel tonight and a student, but for now, reporting live in Jonesboro, Hannah Campbell for Region 8 News.
Hannah, thank you. Many of us are bracing for it. High utility bill, but didn't tell us when and where. The Buckle, Hibbett Sports, and Shoe Show reopened in a new location. Dillard's and JCPenney have been open since last year. Developing news and new details from Westside High School. Former Westside principal Michael Graham resigned last fall after testing positive for drugs. This came while school and officials investigated a probable meth lab dump site near the school. The Education Board just suspended his license for a year and fined him. And tonight, Hannah Campbell joins us live. She spoke with a former teacher who says Graham has a history of acting unethically. And she joins us now with more.
Diana, today that teacher told me that Graham pressured her to quit. Another student told me that she remembers Graham as a fun principal, but then she started to notice he started to change.
Just his character and just the unethical things that he did before this even came to light, it would trouble me to know that he was employed with any school.
That was former teacher Sherry Patel. She worked at Westside High School for 8 years as a family and consumer science teacher. She worked with Graham for 3 years until 2016.
He really pressured me to quit.
Patel said Graham would target her and other teachers.
He harassed certain teachers a lot. I mean, he almost came off as kind of a bully. I had never dealt with anything like that in any career that I'd been in.
Patel feels like Graham just got a slap on the wrist. She thinks that past unethical actions, plus alleged drug use, deserves more than a 1 year suspended license.
I thought he was cool. Like he was, hyped up. He loved talking to everybody, stopping in the hallway, talking to everybody.
Former student Destiny Morrison says she remembers Graham as the cool principal, but then noticed things changing. She says she noticed Graham acting jittery.
He kept, we would notice that he would disappear and we wouldn't be able to find him. It started getting weird.
Morrison also believes that Graham did not receive adequate discipline.
With a hard drug like that, I think they should have pressed charges. And, especially being around all those kids.
I've reached out to Superintendent Gaunt about Patel's allegations. He says it happened before he was superintendent, and previous accusations of harassment did not come up during the drug investigation. Reporting live in Jonesboro, Hannah Campbell for Region 8 News.
Hannah, thank you. Region 8 News is following this closely. In fact, we're digging more into Graham's employment. We've asked for his personnel file and his in-person attendance record during the time of the investigation. We are expecting a response later by Thursday evening. Once we get that information, we will pass it along to you. Police accuse a man of offering teen boys alcohol. Digging deeper tonight after learning a former principal in the Westside schools had his license suspended after he tested positive for meth. It happened as the school and authorities investigate a shake and bake meth lab on the edge of campus. Michael Graham resigned last year, and tonight we spoke with him. Hannah Campbell is live with this follow-up. Hannah.
Diana, today I asked Graham what he had to say about the drug investigation. He responded with no comment. I also asked him if he had anything to say to the teachers accusing him of harassment. He also responded with no comment. Many of you honed in on Graham's punishment, saying it was not severe enough. A 1-year license suspension and fine. We started digging deeper and tried to obtain a copy of the vote breakdown from the State Department of Education Board. They're the ones who handed down Graham's punishment. But that information by law is protected. We were told today all records, all hearings, meetings, and deliberations of the Professional Licensure Standards Board and the Ethics Subcommittee relating to an ethics complaint are confidential and exempt from the Freedom of Information Act, meaning we don't know exactly how that vote went down and how many board members supported that punishment. We still have a Freedom of Information Act request pending for Graham's personnel file and attendance record from the time of the incident. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you more information. But for now, reporting live at Westside High School, Hannah Campbell for Region 8 News.
Hannah, thank you.
8 News starts right now.
For me and my family, we were in our basement watching it, and it was super scary. So just acknowledging that as well as going, you know, this was really scary on top of the pandemic.
Storm anxiety still lingers almost a year after the last massive tornado in Jonesboro. Hannah Campbell will have more details, but tonight we're tracking another chance of severe weather, and that's why we've got Chief Meteorologist Ryan Vaughn and Meteorologist Zach Holder tracking the latest.
And we continue to watch for that threat for tomorrow. You know, as you just mentioned, storm anxiety is high, and a lot of people are on edge for the...
And while hospitalizations were up, ventilator use remained unchanged. Now, if you're feeling uneasy about tomorrow's possible threat of severe weather, there are ways you can cope. Today, Hannah Campbell spoke with a mental health therapist and joins us live with how you can manage storm anxiety. Hannah.
Diana, True Hope Counseling tells me the main reason people feel storm anxiety is because they feel out of control. They say the best way you can cope with these feelings is to make a plan and prepare. Therapist Amy Flaherty says storm anxiety is a very real thing, and several may be experiencing PTSD from last year's March 28th tornado. She adds it helps to practice coping skills like breathing, meditation, or prayer. Surrounding yourself with those you care about will reduce stress and provide an extra layer of support. One way to give yourself a sense of control is to practice your severe weather safety plan.
Where are you going to get in your house? Are you going to have backup radios? Are you going to be able to tune in to Ryan Vaughn? What are you going to be able to do? And even like role play that. And it's because, again, as much planning as you can get and prepared ahead of time, you're going to feel so much better.
Other ways to cope include stay informed on conditions, have backup methods to get information like a radio or your weather app, talk out your fears with a loved one, and plan how you and your family will stay in contact in case you lose electricity or phone service. For more information on how to make a safety plan or more tips on weather coping skills, just visit this story on our website. Reporting live in Jonesboro, Hannah Campbell for Region 8 News.
Hannah, thank you. Now to meteorologist Zach Holder, who's showing us issues with tornado sirens in Greene County. Zach.